Max Riebel, thank you very much for joining us on the programme. We now move on to further news. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has declared that the country's right to enrich uranium remains non-negotiable just hours before a crucial round of talks with the United States in Oman. The meeting in Muscat will mark the fourth round of nuclear negotiations. Speaking ahead of his departure, Iran's foreign minister called enrichment an honour for Iran and said he hoped the new round would reach a decisive point. The talks follow the highest level US-Iran contact since Washington pulled out of the 2015 nuclear deal during Trump's first term. Trump has reinstated his maximum pressure policy since returning to office in January, insisting on a full halt to Iran's nuclear enrichment. Iran, which is enriching uranium, is still short of reaching weapons-grade level and is pushing for sanctions relief while maintaining its nuclear rights. US envoy Steve Witkoff, who leads the US delegation, has called for Iran's enrichment facilities to be dismantled. Let's take a listen in.
و افتخارات ملت ایران هست. برای این غنیسازی هزینه سنگینی پرداخت شده. خون دانشمندان هسته ما پای این دستاورد وجود داره. قطعا قابل معامله نیست. امروز صبح در تهران به هر حال مشورت‌های بیشتری رو داشتیم و در این دور امیدوار هستیم که به هر حال به یک نقطه تعیین کننده‌ای برسیم. اگر غرض این هست که اطمینان حاصل بشه که جمهوری اسلامی ایران سلاح هسته‌ای نخواهد داشت، این کاملا قابل حصول هست و توافقی که این مضمون رو بخواد داشته باشه حتما قابل دسترس هست، ولی بیشتر از اون اگر تقاضاهای غیر معقول، غیر واقعی داشته باشن، تقاضاهایی که قابل عملیات شدن نیست اگر داشته باشن، طبیعی هستش که مذاکره با مشکل.
We move on once again. Albanians went to the polls today in parliamentary elections, with Prime Minister Edi Rama aiming for an unprecedented fourth term. Rama, in power since 2013, remains the favourite despite recent corruption scandals involving top allies and growing public frustration with entrenched leadership. The election has been marked by promises from Rama's Socialist Party to bring Albania into the European Union by 2030, a goal many experts see as ambitious due to necessary reforms. His chief rival, former Prime Minister Sali Berisha, faces diminished support following graft charges, though he remains a key opposition figure. Younger voters expressed frustration with both candidates, many of whom held power since the fall of communism. While some called for fresh leadership, others said they were looking to leave the country altogether. Despite steady economic growth and increased tourism, corruption and organised crime continue to plague Albania, deepening public scepticism about promises of reform. Results are expected Monday as polls close at 7 p.m. local time. Let's take a listen in to what some of the voters had to say.
Presim një ndryshim, qerinia mos largohet jashtë vendit. Kjo është pjesa kryesore që gjithë populli shqiptar duhet ta kuptojë, që e ardhmja nuk është Europa për të shkuar të punuar hamall atje, po kemi vendin ton.
Në Shqipëri ka ndryshuar gjithçka dhe presim të ndryshojë akoma. Çdo gjë ka ndryshuar. Dhe presim të ndryshojë akoma më mirë.
Let's now turn to the Indo-Pacific. South Korea's former Prime Minister and acting President Han Duck-soo has announced his withdrawal from the presidential race, bringing an end to a short-lived internal struggle within the Conservative People Power Party. Han entered the race late, hoping to replace Kim Moon-soo as the party's nominee, but his surprise move sparked days of infighting just before the June 3rd snap election. Han said that he offers his full support to Kim, who has been chosen by party members. The infighting risked splitting the Conservative vote against opposition frontrunner Lee Jae-myung ahead of the Democratic Party. With Han now out, Kim Moon-soo has formally entered the presidential race to replace former President Yoon Suk-yeol, who was impeached last month. Let's move on once again now. Chinese President Xi Jinping's state visit to Russia has bolstered ties between the two nations, marking a deepened strategic partnership for a new era. During nearly 10 hours of talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin, both sides signed a joint agreement to expand economic, energy and trade cooperation while rejecting protectionism. Xi's attendance at the 80th anniversary of the Soviet victory in World War II highlighted China's commitment to preserving the post-war international order. He reaffirmed China's support for a UN-centered system and voiced concerns over the Ukraine crisis, urging dialogue and peace. Xi also met leaders from Myanmar, Cuba, Venezuela, Serbia and Slovakia for calling for unity against unilateralism and power politics. Xi stressed Taiwan's reunification as part of the World War II outcome, reaffirming China's position on territorial integrity. We now have breaking news coming in